Hi, I'm Jimmy the Scot. I'm going to show you how to win at blackjack. On this tape, I'm going to teach you the basics of the game. When to hit, when not to hit, how to get closer to 21 than the dealer, splitting, doubling down, what you have to know to be comfortable at the table. And don't be embarrassed. When you go to Las Vegas or Reno or Atlantic City or any casino, anywhere across this great country of ours, just walk up to a table and sit down and get started. Sure, you're going to make mistakes the first couple of 3 times that you play the game. I did it. We all do it. People will chuckle at you. But within 3 short months, you can be a world champion at this game. It's the easiest of all gambling games to master. Consider the French invented this game 300 years ago. They played this game during the Middle Ages of Europe. It doesn't take too much brains to play this game. Take some timing, take some patience, take some watching, takes money management, and I'll explain most of that on this tape for you as a beginner. I'm qualified to teach this game. When I was a kid in 1948, grade 6, 12 years old, came home from school every night. My old man ran a gambling house up in North Dakota. I had to deal blackjack until enough guys came in to play poker. Then I moved over and dealt poker, and my mother took over the blackjack. My mother didn't like dealing poker. And I listened to all those old men when I was a kid. How did you do that, sir? Why did you do that, sir? Read this book, Jimmy. Read this book, Jimmy. And most of them would tell me patience. Take your time, no rush. Relax at the table. Don't be embarrassed at the table. Just sit down and buy some chips. You ask a lot of gamblers that gamble professionally, what is your best gamble? And a lot of them will say blackjack. I know an expert in Las Vegas. I argue with him all the time. He says blackjack is a dead even game, Jimmy. If you play it right, if you work your money properly, know all the rules, all the percentages. I say, wait a minute. Maybe it's about a 1% game if you're really, really good. Blackjack is a 5% game in favor of the casino. We know that. We're in the business. Yeah, we get 10, 15% from the bad players. Yeah, we only get 1 or 2% from the good players. So you're going to start about a 5% player. Then I'm going to bring you down to 4%. I'll bring you down to 3% and maybe even down to 2% on this videotape. Then you get my advanced blackjack tape. And I'll bring you down to 1%, or if you want to argue the point, down where you're darn near even with the casino. You got just good a chance to get their money as they have of getting yours. Now, it's you against a dealer. Never mind anybody else at the table. And think about how simple this game is. I mean, little girls and little boys play this game with their mother and father on the kitchen table when they're 6 years old. You have to get closer to 21 than the dealer without going over 21. If you go over 21, you lose. But if the dealer goes over 21, he loses too. The problem is you have to go first. Aces, you can count 1 or 11. Face cards, all count 10. All of the cards, face value. 2's a 2, 5's a 5, 7's a 7, a 9's a 9. Sit down at the table, put out $20. The dealer will take your $20 and he'll give you a stack of chips to play with. They're worth $1 each. Oh, you want to play $5 chips? That's the red chips. You'll do that when you become better. You want to play with the green chips, the $25 chips? You do that when you're really good at this game. And then maybe someday you'll get up to the black chips, the $100 chips. You start with the $1 chips. And I'm going to recommend you start with 2 chips, $2. You can bet $1 if you want as a beginner, but it's really tough to make money betting $1. And when I get to a few tips on money management later on in this tape, I'm going to tell you why starting with 2 chips is better than starting with just 1 chip. So if you find a table with a little sign on it that says $2 minimum table, that's a table that you should start at. And if you don't see a sign that says $2 minimum, if it's a $5 minimum, most casinos have that. The larger casinos, don't be afraid to sit down and start with $5. You just might make some money at this game. So you might lose a few bucks. Try not to lose too much, though. If you feel things aren't going right, you don't have to lose all your money. Take what you have left, cut out. You can come back later. These joints never close. Come on back this afternoon. Save that money. Come back tonight. Bad time to gamble when you're losing. Gamble when you're winning. And you know when you're winning, your money's growing. And you know when you're losing, looks like an elephant walked through and stepped on your stack. So sit down, buy some chips, and put $2 right out there on the betting square right in front of where you're sitting. Now the dealer takes a deck of cards. He shuffles the cards. Somebody at the table cuts the cards. And there's usually a cut card covering the bottom. And he deals 2 cards to everybody at the table and 2 cards to himself. So you get 2 cards. The dealer gets 2 cards. And he turns one of his cards face up, called the dealer's up card. Well, you look at your 2 cards. Now you got to get closer to 21 than the dealer. Now, if you look at your first 2 cards and you got a pair of face cards in there, like a queen and a jack, you got 20, pal. That's a dynamite hand. You don't want any more cards. Just take your 2 cards and tuck your 2 cards under your money without touching your money. Once you put your bet out there, don't touch your money. If you lose, the dealer will take it. If you win, he'll pay you. Then you can take your money. So when you look at, you got a good hand to start with, like say a queen and a 9. That'd be 19. That's a good hand. Just tuck your cards under your money or drop your cards beside your money, indicating to the dealer you don't want any more cards. You get your first 2 cards are 18. That's a good hand. 17's a good hand. just chuck your cards under your money. If you look at your first two cards, you got an ace and a face card or an ace and a 10, that's your blackjack. Turn it face up, you automatically are a winner, providing the dealer doesn't have a blackjack. Anytime you tie with the dealer, you keep your money. I don't care if it's a blackjack or a 20 or a 19 or an 18 or a 17. Dealer's got to beat you. You have to beat the dealer. But if you got an ace and a face card in your first two cards, just turn them face up. You win automatically, providing the dealer doesn't have a blackjack, and you get paid 3-2 for your bet. You got two chips out there, they'll pay you 3. Two $5 chips, he'll pay you 15. Two $1 chips, he'll pay you $3. You get 50% more for your bet by getting a blackjack right off the bat. I hope that happens to you a lot. Now, you know what the cards count, right? Now, if you got two little cards, like a 3 and a 2, that's only 5, isn't it? Well, you got to get closer to 21 than 5. So when the dealer gets to you, and always wait your turn, you signal to the dealer by scraping your cards on the table that you want another card. Now he gives you a face card. Whoa, you got a 3 and a 2 and a face card. Now you got 15. Now do you want another card? Now if you go over 21, you lose automatically, so try not to go over 21 too often. You're only beating yourself. But if you got two little cards and they total up to 11, you certainly need another card. And up to 11, you don't have to worry about going over 21. 11, the biggest card he can give you is a face card. I got 11, please give me a face card, please. Then you'll have 21 too. So up to 11, take cards. 17 or better, I'll talk about soft 17s in just a minute. A soft hand, by the way, is when you get an ace with a number card. A soft 17 would be an ace and a 6, for example. It's soft because aces count 1 to 11. If you were to take another card and he gave you a queen, you'd have a queen, a 6, and an ace, you would now have a hard 17. From soft, it becomes hard with that queen, because now if you take another card and he gives you a queen, you'd have 27. You're over 21, you lose automatically. But I'll give you some tips on the soft 17 coming up when I get down to hitting and splitting and doubling down especially. Your problem with this game is hitting the hands between 11 and 17. They're called the breaking hands. That's the 12, the 13, the 14, the 15, and the 16. That's your problem right there. You see, if you got 16, you say, give me a card. He gives you a queen, you got 26. If he gives you a 6, you got 22. You're over 21. You just throw up right then and there. Your cards, that is. I'll do both. You lost. You go over 21, you lose automatically. Even if the dealer goes over 21 on the same hand, you don't get your money back. The instant you go over 21, they take your money right then and there. And that's one of the big ways casinos make money at blackjack. So be careful about hitting breaking hands. I don't like hitting 16. The odds are 8-5 against you. Look at this chart on your screen right now, all right? Here's what I call about breaking hands. Now, any breaking hand, a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, there's only 4 cards that can help you. It's the cards that can break you that's your problem. And 8 cards will break you when hitting a 16. Only 4 cards will break you when you're hitting a 12. Now, you'll notice if you're going to hit a 16, there's a tie card in there. That's the ace. Because if you got 16 and you say, give me a card, and the dealer gives you an ace, you got 17. You say it's a winner. No. It's a tie, because the rule is right here on the table. Dealer must draw to 16 and stand on all 17. So if you get 17, the dealer's got 17, you tie with the dealer. It's not a winning hand, it's a tie hand. You say, well, if it goes to 21, I win on 17. Pardon me, if he gets over 21, if he breaks, yes. But if he goes over 21, you probably would have won in your 16. You didn't need the darn ace to begin with. So on every hand, there's what's called a tie card, and you'll see it on that chart that I just showed you. I don't like hitting 15s. I don't like hitting 16s. I'll only hit a 16 if that dealer shows an ace. And if a lot of big cards went out on the last hand. I'm going to tell you later on how to watch a deck. And basically what you do is you watch the big cards and the little cards. It's just like watching a dice at the craps table. You want to get into card counting, that's advanced. That's what you get on my advanced blackjack tape. But on this tape, and as a beginner, I'm telling you to relax. The more relaxed you are at the table, the better you'll play. And as a beginner, certainly don't get uptight. Watch your money, watch your cards. Watch the big cards and the little cards. Now, if there's a lot of big cards went out on the last hand, and I suggest you sit at a full table, because with 7 people at the table, you get to see about a half a deck of cards. That's a lot of cards to see for $2, a half a deck. If you were sitting alone with the dealer at the table, just you and the dealer, it would take you about 10 hands. At $2 a hand, that's about $20 to get halfway down into the deck, because you're alone with the dealer at the table. It could be expensive to see half a deck. In order to tell what's left in the deck, you've got to get a good chunk off the deck. Well, for $2 at a full table, you get to see about a half a deck of cards. Now, a third of the deck is face cards. So, about a third of the cards on the table will be face cards. Now, there's an average of about 2.3 cards per person per hand. So, if there's 7 people at the table plus the dealer, you'll see about 20, 22, maybe 24 cards at the end of each hand. Well, that's darn near half a deck, isn't it? Well, if there's 24 cards out there and a third of the deck is face cards, there'll be about 8 face cards on the table. And you watch and see. There will. Darn near every hand. That's the average. And that's what the word average means, average. One hand you'll see 7 cards. Look before the dealer picks up all those cards. When he's finished dealing to everybody, how many face cards there are. You don't have to count them. I can see 7 face cards, about 7, about 8, about 9, about 7, about 8, about 9. Why am I telling you this? Because once, twice, 3, maybe 4 times an hour, it'll be above or below that average, and that's once, twice, 3, 4 times an hour that's going to make you a winner at this game. Consider if a lot of face cards go out on one hand. Let's say about 12 face cards go out. Well, if there's only 16 face cards, there's only about 4 face cards left in the deck, right? That means there must be a lot of little cards left in the deck. So if you got a 16 and that dealer's got a face card showing, at that point, I might be tempted to hit my 16 because I've got a good chance now of catching a little card. All the big cards are out of the deck. You watch those big cards and watch those little cards, and that's a secret to hitting breaking hands. And there is no other secret, and good luck. But at least if you play smart, you're going to win a little bit more money, a little bit more often. I'll only need a 16 if that dealer's got an ace showing as his up card. See, aces counts 1 to 11. That means that dealer's got 2 chances to make that hand. I don't like a dealer having 2 chances to beat me on one hand. I might be tempted to 16, hit that 16 with an ace showing and providing a lot of face cards went out in the last hand. Now, another thing I like nowadays is cards are dealt face up. They don't deal them face down anymore. In the old days, they deal them face down. A little old lady, she gets her cards and she looks and she tucks her card under her money. And I say, pardon me, dear, do you have any face cards there? Shut up, watch your own cards. At least now when they're dealt face up, I know 8 face cards went out in the last hand, and on this hand I see 8 more. That's 16 face cards. I know all the face cards are out of the deck. You only get about 2 hands out of a deck with a single deck. The double deck, you get about 3 hands out of a double deck, and I don't mind playing at a double deck. And if you're playing out of the shoe where they have that box on the table, that shoe where they got 6 decks of cards in there, you might get about 10 hands, providing it's about 6 or 7 people at the table. People come, people go at the table. So watch the cards. Watch the big cards and the little cards. I only hit a 16 if that dealer's got an ace showing and if a lot of big cards went on the deck. I don't even like hitting a 15. You've got to be lucky. And my trouble is I'm so darn unlucky. If it came down to the last woman on earth and they cut her in half, I'd get the half that eats. I don't even like hitting 14. That's tough. I hit 13 a lot because it's my lucky number and my business and my money. And if somebody at the blackjack table doesn't like the way that you're playing blackjack, that's why God gave you this finger. Play your own game. Play your own way. It's your money. You do what you like. If you don't like the other players at the table, you can change your table. Other players don't like you, let them change the table. I like a table where there's a good dealer, friendly dealer, comfortable dealer. To me, blackjack is entertainment. I'm more of a craps player, I'm more of a roulette player, I'm more of a keno player. Well, I'm a dealer. I deal all games. I teach all games. Make sure you get all my videotapes on gambling, please. Learning all the games will make you a better gambler at any one game because gambling is all interconnected. So sit down, watch your money, and watch the cards on the table. I hit 13 because it's my lucky number if I want, and especially if I got money to spare. If I'm down to where I'm a little bit short on the table and I don't feel so lucky, I might not hit a 13. If you want to be a good gambler, when it comes to hitting hands, and as a beginner, here's where you start. Hitting those 12s. See, hitting a 12, you don't got to be so lucky. There's only 4 cards in the deck that'll break it, 10, Jack, Queen, King. And there's only 4 of each of those, so there's really only 16 cards out of 52 that'll break you. So you don't have to be so lucky hitting a 12. But if you're still watching those face cards, that helps. And here's another tip. Sit in the last seat, seat 7. Because after you see all the face cards that went out in the last hand, about 8 of them, and you see all the cards dealt face up this hand, and you're sitting in seat 7, and this lady takes a card, and this lady takes a card, and this guy takes a card, and another card, and he takes a card, and he takes a card, you get to see more cards come off the deck before you have to hit your breaking hand. So sitting in the last seat is a definite advantage when it comes to hitting breaking hands. You can play a better percentage that way. Yeah, hit those 12s a lot, especially if all the face cards are out of the deck. They're the only card that can break you when you're hitting a 12. So there are some tips on hitting, and believe me, there is no other answer. Just watch the deck, just like you'd watch the dice at a craps table, or watch the flow of the ball across that roulette table. Watch the deck at blackjack. Now, the biggest secret you have to learn at the blackjack table is this: how much money to put out on that table before the cards are dealt. Do you know why that's a big secret? Because after the cards are dealt, you can look at your cards and put out more money. You say, wait a minute, Jimmy. You mean to say that I can put out money and the dealer deals me 2 cards, I can look at my 2 cards and look at the dealer's up card, half the dealer's hand, and if I want, I can put out more money? Yes, you can. You say, well, that's terrific. Of course it's terrific. It's called splitting and doubling down, and let me cover that right now because these are the two moves that you must master to bring you down an extra percent at the table. Watching face cards, watching a deck will bring you from a 5% player down to a 4% player, and learning your percentages on splitting and doubling down will bring you down to a 3% player, and I'm going to get you even better than that. Splitting. What is splitting? Well, it's when you look at your first two cards and you have a pair. Like a pair of twos, a pair of threes, a pair of fours, a pair of fives, a pair. You can open up your pair. You must put an equal bet on the table, but you now can play two hands against the dealer. Now, when should you do it? When you got two good cards and that dealer's got a bad card. Shouldn't you do it? When the dealer's got a good card. What is a good card for the dealer to show, Jimmy? Well, let's cover the dealer's up hand right now. Starting with an ace. That dealer shows an ace as his up card. You're in trouble, pal. That dealer's got two chances to make that hand. I don't like a dealer having two chances to beat me on one hand. I don't recommend you split or double down. I don't recommend you put more money on the table when that dealer shows a good card like an ace. You're in trouble right off the bat. You're asking for more trouble. A face card is also a good card for that dealer to show. 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. There's about 2/3 of the deck under there that says right now that dealer has got a winning hand. You know if he has an ace under there right away because the dealer looks under there to see if as an ace because he might have blackjack. He turns it face up and everybody loses at the table providing you don't have a blackjack yourself. And I'll cover that later. He's looking for a bet called insurance, which I'm going to tell you at the end of this tape all about. And it's one of my favorite bets at the blackjack table too. Watch out when that dealer shows a face card. It's not a good time for you to put extra money on the table. I don't recommend you put more money on the table either when the dealer shows a 7, an 8, or a 9. Oh, you will in the future when you learn how to get drunk and play blackjack. And I'm going to tell you some tips on this tape. I attack a 7 quite often, an 8 not too often, and a 9 once in a while. And I'll tell you all about how I do it and when I do it. But you as a beginner, be careful. Remember, those are good cards for the dealer to show. A deuce is a good card for that dealer to show. That dealer shows a 2, be careful. That's so close to an ace, there's so many ways a dealer can make a hand when he's got a 2 showing. As a matter of fact, all my life I've been a dealer. And as a blackjack dealer, it is totally boring. When I'm dealing at the table and people are betting and I'm watching the people and I show a deuce, inside to myself I say, aha, let's see how these people play me when I got a deuce showing. It's an interesting card to play. And watch out, it can favor the dealer, but I do attack a deuce quite often. And I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Careful on that card, okay? Now, those are the good cards, Jimmy, and the pretty good cards. Jimmy, what are the bad cards, Jimmy? Here are the bad cards. Anytime that dealer shows a 3, 4, 5, or a 6, suck it to him. That dealer's in trouble. He can't have a 17. Can't have a 17 unless he's got an ace under his 6. Now, one thing that some casinos have that I like, and another thing that some casinos have that I don't like is this. The rule on the table says dealer must draw to 16 and stand on all 17s. Well, there are some casinos in Las Vegas and in Reno and in Tahoe and across America where it says dealer must draw to a soft 17. I like that rule. You see, under that 6, if he's got an ace, he's got a soft 17. Ace makes it soft. Now, you look at your first two cards, and you got 16. Would you hit a 16 when that dealer's got a 6 showing? I don't think so. A bad hitting hand, you got to really be lucky. Odds are 8-5 against you, and that dealer's got a bad card? No. But under that 6, that dealer's got an ace, soft 17. Dealer must hit all 17s. I like that rule. So watch that rule on the table. Dealer must hit a soft 17. That means if he's got a soft 17, he's still got to hit it, and he might break, and it's not an automatic loss. Dealer stands on all 17s. If it's soft, you lose with your 16. So remember that little trick too at the table. 6s are very bad cards for the dealer to show. 5s are almost as bad for that dealer to show. A 4 is a bad card for the dealer to show. A 3 is a bad card for that dealer to show, but be careful, it's getting now down to a deuce where the dealer just might do something with that 3. But those are considered the bad cards for the dealer to show at the table, and that's when you should split, and that's when you should double down, when that dealer shows a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. How do you split, Jimmy? Well, when you look at your first two cards and you have a pair, you can open up your pair. You must put an equal bet on the table. If you got $2, you must put out $2 more. If you got $5, you must put out $5 more. You must put out an equal bet when you're splitting. But you now can play 2 hands against a dealer. When that dealer's got a 3, 4, 5, or a 6 showing, I wish I could play 10 hands against that sucker right now. I love it. And in some casinos, if he gives you another deuce, you can open that up. It's called a resplit, and you can put out another $2 on the table, and you now can play 3 hands against a dealer. That's another reason that I like to play out of a shoe, because they got more 2s in there. As a matter of fact, they got 16 of them in there. They got 6 decks of cards, and there's 4 deuces in there, probably 24 of them. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 deuces in that shoot, so I got a good chance to resplit and resplit and resplit. Now, in most casinos, they'll probably limit you to splitting twice, 3 or 4 times. And in most casinos, they'll only let you split aces once. So ask the dealer, how many times can I split my pairs at this table? There are some rules you have to ask. They're not written on the table. So don't be afraid to talk to your dealer. I do. And I've been playing this game for 50 years. How many times can I split my pairs, dealer? 4 times, sir. Aces? 4 times. Thank you. But if he says aces, you can only split aces once or twice, then it's not too good of a rule, but be sure to ask that now. Now, you can play 2 hands against the dealer. He gives you a 3 on this hand, that's 5, give me another one. He gives you a queen, that's 15. Do you want to take another card? Do you want to take another card? You go over 21, you lose. You see, no, I don't think so. Then just put your hand like this, stop, and signal, give me a card over in this hand here. Now he gives you an 8, that's 10, right? Give me another one. He gives you a queen, that's 20. Stop. So you can play 2 hands against the dealer when you split your cards. Splitting a pair of 2s, by the way, is a very good split. Remember I told you how a 2 is a good card for the dealer? 2s are also good cards for his players too. So many ways you can make a hand. 3s are a good pair to split. Split a pair of 3s. Pair of 4s. Now, some people will just hit a pair of 4s. It's okay. If it's an 8, you want to just take, a face card, a lot of face cards in the deck, a lot of face cards in the deck. You split a pair of 4s, you might get a face card here and a face card here. You get 2 bad hands, where if you just hit it, you'd get an 18. So watching the deck will help you. You can also double down with a pair of 4s, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. But I play out of a shoe a lot, because I know there's a lot of 4s in there, so I like to split them because I can resplit and resplit. Pair of 5s. Most books on blackjack will tell you it's better off to double down on a pair of 5s than it is to split. And it is, out of a single deck and even out of a double deck. But I like to play to that shoe where they don't shuffle so much and I get to play a little bit more often. So I will split my pair of 5s because I might get a resplit and a resplit and a resplit, and that dealer's got a 6 or a 5 showing. I want to get as much money on the table as possible. So remember that about a pair of 5s, and when I get to doubling down, I'll cover that there as well. Pair of 6s. Split a pair of 6s. It's a 12. You ain't going to hit a 12 and that dealer's got a 6 showing. Do you want to hit it when that dealer's got a 6 showing? You want to just stand on a 12? Open it up. That dealer's in trouble. When that dealer's in trouble, I want to get money on the table as much as possible. Split a pair of 6s. Split a pair of 7s. You ain't going to hit a 14 either. Split a pair of 7s when that dealer shows a 3, 4, 5, or a 6 showing. And listen to this. I'll split a pair of 7s when that dealer shows a 2 and a 7 showing. Quite often. As a matter of fact, here's my chart on splitting right now. Have a look at this chart on your screen right now. How to split, when to split a pair of 2s, when to split a pair of 3s, and I play a wide open blackjack. Now you get 10 books on blackjack and every book is different. All experts have their own opinion. A lot of experts say you should only split a pair of 2s when the dealer shows a 3, 4, 5, or 6. I'll split a pair of 2s when he shows a 2 or a 7. I'll go right up to a 7 when the dealer shows a 7 with a pair of 2s because they're good cards to split. Pair of 3s, I like splitting a pair of 3s. Pair of 4s, you might only do it when he's got a 3, 4, 5, or 6 showing, right? Pair of 5s, remember I told you better to double down. Pair of 6s, pair of 7s, you should always split a pair of 8s. Always. I don't care if that dealer's got an ace showing. However, sometimes, if I don't feel so lucky, I might not split a pair of 8s when he shows an ace. That's a trouble card. That's such a good card for the dealer. But up to a face card, always split a pair of 8s. Always. It's a 16. You want to stand on it? You want to stand on a losing hand? That's not even a winning hand. You want to hit a 16? Open it up. Give me a card here, dealer. He gives you a 3. That's 11. Give me another one. He gives you a queen. That's 21. Stop. Give me a card here, dealer. He gives me a 5. That's 13. Stop. Why? 13. Breaking hand. Dealer's got a 6 showing. I don't like hitting breaking hands when that dealer's got a 6 showing. Why should I hit a breaking hand when I know he's got to hit a breaking hand? And I got a 21 and I got a 13. Under that 6, he might have a queen. Hit it with a jack, he's got 26, and I win both hands. But under that 6, if he hits it with a 5, hits it with a 9, he's got 20. I win this hand. I lose this hand. I break even. I would have lost standing on that 16. Pair of 9s. Split a pair of 9s unless the dealer shows a 7, a face card, or an ace. All other times, split a pair of 9s. Why would I not split a pair of 9s, Jimmy, when that dealer's got a 7 showing? Because a third of the deck is face cards. Odds are he's got a face card under that 7. That's a 17. I got an 18. I think I got a winner. That's when I stand if he shows a 7. He's got an 8 showing. I split it. Why? Odds are he's got an 18. I got an 18. I'm not here to tie. I'm here to win. And I'm here to gamble. And if a third of the deck is face cards, odds are I'll get a face card on one of these. That's a 19. He's got an 8 showing. And splitting a pair of 9s against a face card is asking for trouble, and splitting a pair of 9s against an ace, no. Okay, please, you're just asking for trouble. Never split face cards. You got a 20. You've been sitting there for half an hour trying to get a 20. You got one. Thank you. Boy, give me 3 more of these right now, and I'll see you in church Sunday. I love those 20s. This is such a bad bet, splitting face cards. The casino will let you split any 2 cards amounting to 20, like a jack and a queen. Doesn't have to be a pair of queens. They'll let you split a king and a 10. Don't do it. Please don't do it. It's a winning hand. However, gambling is such an open preoccupation. There is one expert, I'll tell you his name, Scarney. Everybody knows Scarney. He's one of the leading experts of all time in gambling. You read his book, you know what he'll tell you? Split a pair of 10s when a dealer's got a 5 or a 6 showing. Now, he says that. So, you know what I mean? Do what you like. And when you become a blackjack player, become your own blackjack player. Hear what I'm telling you. But even what I say is not always what you should do. It depends on your luck, the dealer's luck, your money, the deck. Blackjack's a wide open gambling game. Pair of aces. Always split a pair of aces. Always. I don't care if that dealer's got an ace showing. This is such a good bet. Most casinos will let you split aces only once. And this is such a good bet. When you split aces, the casino will only give you 1 card in each ace. See all other pairs, you can hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, stop, like a pair of 2s, pair of 3s, pair of 4s, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, stop. Ace is 1 card only. Such a good bet. They limit you to 1 card. But consider this, a third of the deck is face cards. Odds are you get a face card on one of these, that's a 21. By the way, if you get a face card now, you don't have a blackjack anymore, it's a 21. Blackjack is on your first 2 cards. When you get an ace and a face card or an ace and a 10, turn it up. Blackjack, you get paid extra. But after you split your pair of aces, get a face card now, you got 21. I love it. I'll take 2 21s, thank you. So there's splitting. Now, here's doubling down. Doubling down is when you get your first 2 cards, you look at them, and the best time to double down is when your first 2 cards total 10 or 11. That's the best time to double down. Just turn them up, put more money on the table. Now, when you're doubling down, you don't have to put out double your money, up to double your money. It's not like splitting. When you're splitting, you got to put an equal bet. Like if you got $2, you must put out $2. When you're doubling down, you don't have to put another $2. You can put out $1 if you want, or $2, up to double. If you got $5, you can put out $1 more, $2 more, $3 more, $4 more, or $5 more. Doubling down up to double your bet. Now, when you double down, you only get 1 card. That's all. I hope it's a good card. But even if it's a bad card, what do you care? If you had a 12, dealer gives you a 2. You got 14. Dealer's got a 6 showing. You wouldn't hit a 14 when that dealer's got a 6 showing anyways. And that's why you double down, because the dealer's got a bad card showing. Now, here's my chart on doubling down. Look at this chart on your screen right now. This is when you should double down. A lot of experts will tell you to double down on 11 right up to when that dealer's got a face card showing. A lot of professionals will tell you to double down right up to when that dealer's got a 9 showing. I'll double down on an 8 right up to when that dealer's got a 7 showing. You can double down on 7, and I do, up to when that dealer's got a 2, 3, 4, 5, or a 6 showing, and sometimes even when that dealer's got a 7 showing. See, blackjack is such a wide open game. You become your own gambler. Now, some other good cards to double down on are the soft hands. Ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5, ace 6, ace 7. And there's even some books that will tell you ace 8. Now, ace 9 is a 20. No more fooling around. 20 is a good hand, remember that? So become your own gambler and learn how and when to split and how and when to double down. So study my charts on this tape and become a good splitter and a good player when it comes to doubling down. Secret to winning at this game, putting money on the table, and after you're getting your cards, knowing when to put that extra money on the table. It's when you got good cards, dealer's got a bad card. When you're lucky and that dealer's unlucky. Splitting and doubling down. Now, let's discuss money management, which is very important. When to bet more money and when to bet less money. I suggest you bet more money when you're winning and less money when you're losing. A Greek said that 2,000 years ago, and it's so true. You know, if you bet more money every time you're winning and less money every time you're losing, you'll win all the time. You say, how do I know when I'm winning? Look at your money. You got money. You're winning. Time to bet. How do you know I'm losing? When it gets down to where you got 2, 3 chips left, and you get down that far, time to back off. Never lose all your money. You sit down and you start with $20 and you lose $15. Take the last $5. Learn to take something. Knowing when to quit is a big secret in gambling. You want to lose it all and then buy some more and lose some more and then buy some more and lose some more. It's a bad time to gamble when you're losing. Take a break. Go have a beer. Go make love. Come back later. These joints never close. Buy some more chips this afternoon and give it a fresh start. Maybe you'll start with that $5 you might not have lost this morning and get back up to $20, $30, $40 and back into a profit margin. So watching your money at the table is a big trick. Now, I told you not to start with 1 chip, to always start with 2 chips. You're called a 2-unit bettor. Now, I play with 2 red chips. I play at the $5 blackjack tables, but I always start with $10, 2 red chips. That's what I play with. You play with 2 $1 chips. You're a $1 bettor. You start with 2 chips. Never start with 1 chip. Always start with 2. The only time starting with one chip is better than starting with two chips. On the first hand, if you lose, it's better to lose one than two. But if you win, it's better to win two than one, and that offsets that. And nobody knows a first hand coming out of a freshly shuffled deck. Your first hand is always a blind hand. You start with one chip, you win your first hand. You've only got two options open to you for your next bet. One, take one, let one ride, or double your bet and let two ride. If I start with two chips and I win, I have four options open to me. I have more options open for my next bet. You see, I can double and let all four ride if I want. I can take one and let three ride. I can take two and let two ride. Or I can take three and go right down to one and let one ride. It depends upon the deck. All the face cards out of the deck, I think I better go down to one now. See, when face cards are in a deck, that's a good time to bet more money. So that's a trick of money management, because with all the face cards left in the deck, you've got a good chance to catch face cards. And if you get two face cards, you've got a 20. You say, Jimmy, the dealer's got an equal chance to catch a 20. That's true. But when you get down to where you're equal with the dealer, it's time to put more money on the table. Another reason, face cards left in the deck, you put up more money, because in the next hand, if you get a 12, all those face cards in the deck, at least you know not to hit it. But if the dealer's got a 12, 13, 14, 15, or 16. Has the dealer got a choice? No. Dealer must draw to 16. He doesn't have a choice. With all those face cards left in the deck, I don't like his chances. So watching face cards will help you with your betting. So I start with two chips. What I usually do when I win, I'll take one and let three ride. Why? Well, I'm adding to my bet because I might be starting my lucky streak. You don't start your lucky streak till you win your first hand. And you ain't never going to beat that dealer 10 hands in a row, pal. That is not a lucky streak. You beat a dealer maybe two, maybe three, maybe four hands in a row. You've had a lucky streak. So you can't wait till you win 5 or 6 hands in a row and say, okay, I'm starting to get lucky. I'm going to bet more money now. It's too late. The train left the station half an hour ago. So to make money at gambling, you've got to make your move right off the bat, because lucky streaks don't last that long. You say, well, you're adding to bet but in case you win, but what happened if you lose? I saved one to pay for half of my bet on my next bet, my next start. So money control, money management is going to want to make you a good gambler. So watch your deck and watch your money. Another trick, never let your maximum bet ever get out of reach of your minimum bet. Minimum bet, 2 chips. Maximum bet, 10 chips. Do you know what we call an idiot? A guy that comes to my table, he bets $2, he loses, he bets $2, he loses, he bets $2, he loses, out comes $50. Where the hell did that come from? There are two things wrong with that. You don't bet more money when you're losing, you bet more money when you're winning. And number two, and most important, is this. You lose that $150 bet, you're dead. You can pack it up and go home right now. Okay, you want to play some more chips? You want to buy some more chips? Play some more, then go back to your wallet, buy some more chips, go down to your $2 bet where you were comfortable. You can win most of your $2 bets the rest of the day, pal. You will not recover that $50 loss. That one bet is too heavy of a loss for a $2 base bet to recover over any reasonable given period of time. And the longer you spend at any table, at any game, the better chance a casino has of beating you. The percentage is in their favor. So learn how to watch your money at the table. Watch the dealer's luck. Dealers have good luck streaks and bad luck streaks just like we do. Dealers are not superhuman people, you know. You can be a blackjack dealer. Anybody can be a blackjack dealer. Do you know the only thing a blackjack dealer can do when he's running bad? You slow down your dealing. You ask any good dealer. But when a dealer's lucky, that's when you get those cards off the deck. That's what we do for the casino, because they're our bosses. We don't cheat. There's no such thing as cheating anymore. Get that out of your mind altogether. That's ridiculous. You can't handicap it, and don't let it scare you. Don't even think about it. You're clouding your mind with junk that's unimportant to you becoming a winner at the table. Watch a dealer's luck. He's breaking. Get a couple extra more chips on your bet. He's in a down cycle right now, and watch your luck. Catch that lucky streak. And that's really all there is to beginners money management. Now, if you want to get into systems and the Jimmy the Scott money management, then you get my advanced blackjack tape. I'll tell you tricks on there. Money management is definitely going to make you a much better player, a much more consistent winner. Now, let me cover a little bet called insurance. Here's a bet that it confuses everybody, but it is so simple, and I love it. It's when the dealer deals 2 cards to every the table, right? You put out your bet, deals 2 cards, all right? And the dealer deals 2 cards to himself, and he shows an ace. It's when the dealer shows an ace as his up card, the dealer will turn to the table and say, would anybody like insurance? All he's asking you is this. Do you think I have a face card under my ace? Would you like to bet on it? That's all. That's all. You think he's got a face card under there? Make a bet. How much can you bet? Up to half of your original bet. So if you got $2, you can bet $1. Can't bet 2. Up to half your original bet. You got $10 out there, you can bet 5, but you don't have to bet 5. You can bet 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 on insurance. Up to half your original bet. Don't have to bet half. You ask a dealer, how much insurance? Dealers are trained to say, half your bet. No, up to half. When should you bet? When there's face cards left in the deck. Doesn't that make sense? No face cards went out the last hand. I bet he's got one under there. I think now's a good time to make a bet. That's how simple that bet is. And listen to this, it pays 2 to 1. 2 to 1. It's the most money you can win at a blackjack table. Try to stop me from making a 2 to 1 bet when I think I can beat it. You darn right I'll like it. You put out $1 and you win, you don't get $1. You get 2 more. It pays 2 to 1. So watch those face cards and learn how to play insurance. It's a silly little bet. Let me tell you a story about what happened at Reno one time. I was dealing to a gentleman up at Reno at a big table. He's betting $1,000 most every hand. Right? I got an ace showing. I said, would you like insurance? He said, no. 10 minutes later, I'm dealing. I got another ace. Would you like insurance this time, sir? No. 10 minutes later, I got another ace showing. Would you like insurance, sir? No. 10 minutes later, I got another ace showing. Would you like insurance? Yeah. All of a sudden, he put out $500, half his bet. I looked under my ace, I had a face card under there, I paid him $1,000. I'm paying this man $1,000 because he guessed I had a face card under this ace. You better believe it. That's all there is to it. Oh, I turned over his 2 cards. He had 19. He lost that. But he lost that anyways. I got 21. But look, he won $1,000 on that hand. It's $1,000 he wouldn't have. There it is. So learn how to capture that little bet too. Started in Las Vegas. Very silly, back in the 50s. I think it started at the Desert Inn, as a matter of fact. It was early in the morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's only 3 players at one table and 2 players at another. The rest of the casino's empty, and these guys are yawning and looking at their watch. Oh, time to go to bed. Pit boss says, boy, if they go to bed, I got no players at all. I got an empty casino. Just then, the dealer had an ace showing, and the pit boss jumped in and said, hold it, hold it. Any of you guys think he's got a face card under that ace? You want to bet on it? If he has, I'll pay you 2 to 1. Well, this guy at the end of the table wasn't so much asleep as the pit boss thought. This guy said, yeah, how much can I bet? Pit boss says, what do you got at 200? Up to half your original bet. You can bet up to 100, $10 to 100. Go ahead. Guy says, you got it. He put out $100. He looked under. He got a queen under there, paid him $200. The other player said, can we do that next time? Can we please do that next time? Boy, they woke him up, and all of a sudden they're watching face cards. These guys at the other table, what are you guys doing over there? We're playing a little thing called insurance. That any time dealer's got an ace showing, we guess if he's got a face card under there, and if he has, they pay us 2 to 1. Can they do that? Can you do that? Can they do that? Sure, you can do that. It went from table to table to casino to casino. Silly little bet. Enjoy it. It's got nothing to do if the dealer is a blackjack. People will tell you that, and don't listen to them. People tell me all the time, what if the dealer's got if I got a blackjack, shouldn't I insure my blackjack? No. You got a blackjack. Does that mean the dealer's got a face card under his ace? There's no connection at all. So they called it insurance to confuse people. Forget it. Don't even call it insurance. Call it guessing if there's a face card under his ace. Here's my trick. Sure, when you get old, you lose your mind. That's the second thing that goes. When I'm playing at the blackjack table, I got a stack here for insurance, and here's my stack for betting. This is my money for betting. Every time he bets insurance, I got a little stack for insurance. I treat it as a little separate bet. It's kind of like betting on a baccarat, on the tie at baccarat. It's a separate bet at baccarat. Get my baccarat tape too. I'll make you a winner at baccarat. Every time the dealer is an ace and he hasn't got a face card, I take a chip and hold up my left hand. You're not allowed to use your left hand at a blackjack table. One hand only. They'll stop you. You pick up your cards with one hand. You put out your money with one hand. You hit with one hand. You stand with one hand. You don't need your left hand. You can sit on it. Well, I use it. 10 minutes later, he's got an ace showing, he hasn't got a face card. I take a chip and hold up my left hand. Yeah. Why do I do that? Well, that guy up in Reno, he didn't take insurance 3 times in a row, and then all of a sudden he took insurance. And I asked him, I said, sir, how come you took insurance after half an hour? He said, you didn't have it the last 3 times in a row. What? He says, dealer, a third of the deck is face cards. Odds are you'll have a face card there every third time. It's a law of averages, dealer. It's part of gambling is understanding your percentages. You're right. So that's why every time the dealer doesn't have an ace, I take a chip and hold it in my left hand. Because later on when he's got an ace and he says, would you like insurance? I look at my left hand, I say, aha, he hasn't had it the last 3 times in a row because there's 10 minutes in between bets. And I say, how many face cards are at the last hand? Only 3 or 4? Now is when I make my bet. See, I've become a gambler. So remember that when it comes to insurance. Now, let me show you some sample hands. Okay, put your bet on the table. The dealer shuffles the deck and somebody cuts the deck and the dealer deals 2 cards over the table. I'm going to deal the cards face up because I want you to see how the hands are played, okay? And we'll just show a couple of sample hands here. And look at that dealer. Oh, he's got a big face card showing. Here's hand number 1, hand number 2, hand number 3, hand number 4, hand number 5, hand number 6, hand number 7. Let's start over here at hand number 1. One, he's got a jack and a 5, he's got 15, and that dealer's got a face card showing. And the dealer always puts a card under there. But I'll tell you what, in England, they don't put the card under there until after the hand is over. And in some casinos now, when they put a card under there, the dealer looks under there to see if he's got insurance. But in some casinos, they don't look under there until after the hand is over, because some dealers will look under there and they got a face card, they'll wiggle their finger. They cheat a lot. Dealers do that. So that stops dealers from doing that sometimes. And if you split or double down and you lose your split or lose your double down, and later he looks under there and he's got a blackjack, they give you your split money or your double your money back, because you wouldn't have done that if you had the blackjack. So that's something else to watch for at the table. So this dealer, most dealers look under there to see what they got. Hand number 1, 15. Dealer's got a face card showing. Would you take a card? Would you hit that 15? Do you want to stand on it? You feel lucky? Do you want to try, or do you want to stay? Maybe he's got a 6 under there. Maybe he's got a 5 under there. Let's not hit that 15. Here, next hand is a pair of 3s. You want to split? Pair of 3s, good hand to split. You can split against a face card if you want. Let's try it. You see, you're your own gambler. You do what you like. Here's a 13. 13. Do you want to hit a 13? That dealer's got a jack showing. Do you want to? No? You want to go to this hand here? Do you want to play this 3 right here? Let's see what happens here. There's a 5. Now you got 8. You sure want another card there, don't you? Give me another card, dealer. He gives you, there you got 18. There's a 13 and an 18. You got a good hand and a bad hand. Here's a blackjack. So automatically the dealer would pay that person because he looked under there. He knows he hasn't got it. He'd take those cards, put them in the discard tray. Here's 11. You want to double down on 11 when that dealer's got a face card showing? Do you want to try it? When you double down, just put out up to double your money. Up to double your money. Okay, and the dealer gives you 1 card only, just 1 card. Now, you felt lucky, didn't you? Here's a 20, good hand, stopping at 20. Here's a 17. Oh, you don't want to hit a 17. That's a pretty good hand right there, and it's hard, too. If it was soft, you might hit it. Over here in the last hand is a 7. You certainly want a card. Go like this when the dealer gets you. Now you got 9. Give me another card. Dealer gives you a 9. Now you got 18 on that hand. All right, let's see what the dealer has under here. Oh, he's got a 6. He's got 16. Now, if he breaks, everybody wins at the table. Let's see what happens. Oh, he's got an ace. Darn it, an ace. Well, he's got 17. Still a winner here, and an 18, so the dealer would pay this hand. Here's a 17. That's a tie, because the dealer's got 17. You got 17. Anytime you tie with the dealer, you keep your money. Here's a 20. Dealer would pay the 20. Let's see what happened with this guy doubling down. He caught a face card. He wins, so he gets paid extra because he doubled down. Now, here's an 18, so he'd win this hand because it's a 17. He would lose this hand, so he'd win 1 hand and lose 1 hand. And here's a 15. Dealer would take his money because the dealer made a 17. Only had a 15. Then the dealer goes around and picks up all those cards. Now, did you happen to notice how many face cards were out on that hand? Did you look? Remember that. At the end of every hand, how many face cards went out there? Because that's going to help you on this next hand. And here comes the next hand out of the deck. I'll give you 1 more hand to digest. Now you can play this table over and over and over, and please do that. I'm throwing in tips here. I don't even know what I'm talking about half of the time. Face card. Dealer's got a face card. Good card showing this time. So everybody gets their cards dealt face up. And if you're at a casino where they deal face down, okay, but I like a casino where they deal them face up because I can see all the cards on the table. Here's a 14. Dealer's got a face card showing. Of course, he's got a card underneath to it. You want to hit that 14? Do you want it? Do you want to give it a try? No? Okay. Here's a 12. Would you hit a 12? Dealer's got a face card showing? Sure would. I like to hit 12s even when that dealer's got a 2 showing. I hit 12s when that dealer's got a 3 showing, especially if a lot of face cards are out the last hand. Is the 12? Oh, you got a 10. You're broke. You're over 21. Dealer takes your money. You lost. God darn it. That 10 would have broke this 14 too. Good thing he didn't take that 10 off the deck. You know, so you can always say, oh, I wonder if I would have won or lost by watching the cards. Here's a soft 17. You can double down, but I recommend you don't double down against a face card. Give me a card. Dealer gives you a card. You got 16 now. Do you want to hit a 16? That dealer's got a face card showing. You want to stand on a 16? Tough hand. Do you feel lucky? No? Okay. Always with a pair of 8s. Right up to that dealer's got an 8 showing. Give me a card in this 8. Gives you a 10. You got 18. Stop. Give me a card in this 8. Gives you 2 18s. 2 pretty good hands, right? Dealer got a 9 on this hand. Signal to the dealer. You want a card. You want to hit 9. Here's an 8. Now you got 17. That's a good hand. Stop. Here's a 20. Soft 20, but that's a very good hand. Stop. Here's a 6 and a 7. 13. You want to take a 13. Hey, it's my lucky number. Let's see what happens. Oh, a 5. So you got 18 out of that. Now, under the dealer's card, he has a 20. So that would be a loss. There's a tie, a push, 20, 20, a tie, a push. Here's a loss. Both of these lost that time. Dealer happened to make a 20 out of that darn thing. Here's that 16, it lost. This hand was a loser. Didn't do too good on that hand, did you? So that's basically all there is to playing blackjack. Very simple game. Take a card when you feel you're lucky, and don't take a card if you think you're going to break. Watch the deck. Okay, I'll give you four tips right now to become a good blackjack player. 4 tips. Number 1, watch your luck. Bet more money when you're lucky and less money when you're unlucky. Number 2, watch the dealer's luck. Bet more money when he's losing and less money when he's winning. He has good luck streaks and bad luck streaks just like you do. Number 3, watch the deck. And number 4, watch your money. There's a new game in town called Multiple Action Blackjack, and I happen to like it, and I think it's good for beginners too because you get a built-in lucky streak at the table. Basically, it's this. You put out 3 bets, you get 1 hand, and the dealer's got to beat you 3 times with your 1 hand, and he's got to use the same up card for all 3 hands. If you get a good hand, you love it. If he gets a breaking card, you got to love it even more. He's got to beat you 3 times when you got a good hand and he's got a breaking card showing. Dynamite. Here's how the game works. You sit down, you buy your stack of chips, of course, and you got to make 3 bets. You bet $2 in square number 1, $2 in square number 2, $2 in square number 3. A lot of casinos have a minimum $2 bet. Some casinos have a minimum $5 bet at this game. Some casinos have a minimum $3 bet at this game. So always look at the table and see what the sign says, okay? Now, the dealer deals to everybody at the table, and we'll deal all cards face up. I'm only going to show you the betting on the 1 hand because we get too many chips all over the table. And, oh, dealer's got a 5 showing. Bad card. Okay, seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4, seat 5, and seat 6. Now let's go over here in seat 1. Now he's got 3 bets on the table. He's got bet 1, bet 2, and bet 3, just as in seat number 3. Bet 1, bet 2, and bet 3. Dealer's got a 5 showing. Now you start here. What are you going to do with a pair of 4s? Do you want to split them? Do you want to just hit them? Do you want to double down against a 5? Let's split them and see what happens this time. On this card, you get a 9, that's a 13. You want to stop right there, right? Okay, what do you got over here? You got a 4, dealer gives you a 6, you got 10. Give me another card, dealer, he gives you a 9, you got 19, good hand. Here's a possible double down, especially when that dealer's got a 5 showing. Now, when you double down, you don't have to double down all 3 bets, and remember, you don't have to double your money in all 3 bets, up to double. So you might just want to put an extra $1 on hand number 2, or an extra $1 on hand number 3, or an extra $1 on hand number 1. You want to double down on all 3, go ahead. You want to put double your money on all 3, go ahead, and you don't have to double all 3 bets if you don't want to. Let's say he doubles all 3 bets. He gets 1 card when he doubles down, and there it is. What was it? A good face card. You got 21 out of it. Now, at 20, you're certainly not going to hit a 20. Here's a 13 over here. Now, one thing I recommend at this table is not hitting a breaking hand. If you got 3 bets out there, and you say, give me a card, and he gives you a queen, you got 23, there goes all 3 of your bets at one time, just like that. You say, well, gee, I lose 3 hands at 1. Now consider this. If this was a dollar table and you put out $3 on a regular table, put out $3 and you get 13, you say, give me a card, you get 23. At a regular blackjack game, you're over 21, there goes your $3. Well, here, if you go over 21, there goes all your $3. So that's the same. But remember this. The dealer's got to beat you 3 times with that 1 hand. So I don't like hitting a breaking hand at multiple action blackjack. I'll show you why in just a second. Here's a blackjack. You get blackjack, blackjack, blackjack. You get paid for all 3 hands, automatic winner. Dealer's got a 5 showing. Can't possibly get a blackjack. He's got to use the same up card for all 3 hands. So that would be an automatic winner, all 3 hands. See, that's what I mean. You just won 3 hands in a row at one time. It's got a built-in lucky streak. Here's 18. Stop an 18. Okay, everybody's got their hands ready. Here's the dealer. He's got a 5. Hits with a 5. He's got 10. Hits with a 10. He's got 20. He would take the first bet from this hand. This guy's already been paid. He would take the first bet from this hand. 13, he's got a 20. He would tie, so he would leave that money alone. He's got 20, you got 20, that'd be a push. He would pay this 21. He would pay the first hand. He beat him on the first hand. Now, in the first hand, when you split, by the way, you have to split all 3 bets. When you're doubling down, you don't have to double all 3 bets, but when you're splitting, you have to split all 3 bets. You'd have to split, split, split. So he'd automatically lose his first 2 bets right now. He's only got 19, he's only got 13, he's got a 20. So the dealer would discard that, but put the 5 in the second one. He's got the same up card, full 3 hands, and here he goes with hand number 2. He's got a 15. Dealer's got a hit. 16. Here he broke. He would pay that second hand. He would pay. Well, that guy's already been paid. He would pay that second hand. He would pay that second hand. He would pay that second hand. He would pay that second hand, and he'd pay that twice because he split. And it's a both way because the dealer's over 21. He would throw that away, move the 5 over. Here comes his last hand. 9, 16. Dealer's got to hit 16, 26. He broke again, so he's got to pay him. He's got to pay him. He's got to pay him. See, with that breaking hand, he won 2 out of 3 of his bets with a breaking hand. That's why I don't like hitting breaking hands at this game. Now, the 20, of course, would be a winner. The 21's a winner. He's over 21. Again, he would pay both these hands. So you're playing 3 bets against the dealer's 3 hands, and you only get 1 hand. Multiple action blackjack. I like it. Play this over and think about it. Now, while you're at the table, if you want to change color, that is, throw out a green chip and you want some red chips or you want some white chips, be sure to tell the dealer you want change, or he might think it's a bet, or he might think it's a tip and take it and put it in his pocket. And when it comes to tipping, which is not a city in China, which is half the dealer's salary pretty well, and they appreciate it. While the game is being played, when you put out your bet, right in front of your bet, put out $1 or $2 now and then. When you hit a lucky streak, when you're winning 2, 3, 4 hands in a row, it keeps the dealer happy. And a happy table is a winning table. You'll see other people doing that, but what I recommend is this. At the end of your session, when you're ready to leave the table, 5% I think is a very good tip. For example, if you're up $100 and you're ready to leave the table, your last bet, if it's $10 or $20, and you're up 100 and you're going to leave, on that last hand, put a red chip, $5, right out in front of your last bet. So that if you win your last hand, you walk away happy and the dealer gets a tip. He'll pick it up, thank you, tap it on his tray, put it in his pocket. He takes that or puts it behind his discard tray. He takes that, puts it in a drop box, and at the end of the shift, all the dealers count their chips and they share their tips. I hope to see you soon, wherever you are across this great United States of ours, whether you're in these Indian reservations and you're on these showboats, these paddle boats, which are a lot of fun, and these casinos in Milwaukee and all throughout Wisconsin and Minnesota, and there's new casinos opening all the time. The rules in this tape apply at 98% of all the casinos. If you feel that you want to ask anybody for any rules at the casino, the dealers, the floor men, the shift bosses, don't be afraid to ask, okay? And I hope to see you soon. Good luck.